Hey guys, this is Arthur, and today I wanted to tell you a little story about Aeroflot, which is a Russian most popular flight company. These are the airlines that are mostly known by, in the world by their internal flights because of war, obviously, but today they're trying to, use the resources that they still have in order to transport people over to Russia and maybe some countries like Armenia, Azerbaijan, or something like that. So we will talk today about what happened to Aeroflot. I know the news is not the news anymore because it happened at least 1 week ago, maybe two, but I'd like to tell you my opinion about that and the influence on their system, on the market, and to learn a few lessons for yourself as a business. So this video would be useful for people that are trying to create their own business that is digitalized and will have some kind of website system, mobile application and stuff like that. So let's begin. The first reason for what happened, and let me give you some context before actually. So, what happened? Aeroflot got hacked by Belarusian and some kind of other organization. I don't know which one exactly, but that happened. They hacked into Aeroflot system, and what they done there, they actually been able to fail all the systems and to turn down all the servers and clear the backup data. So basically, if you don't have the backup, there's nothing to back up, and the problem here is in order to bring back all the operations, they need at least half of a year. So imagine that, a flight company that is huge, that is known, and they actually are not even able to fuel the plane, and that's a huge problem for air company, and yeah, at least that's what happened. So let's talk about the reasons and what happened. The first reason would be the outdated software. I know that's a really common issue on the Western market. For example, a lot of banks in the UK, in the Europe, they're using outdated software and outdated programming languages. So, for example, there is a language that is called COBOL. COBOL is really old language from 1960s, and it was widely used to create first digitalized banks systems, and still in 2025 some of them are still using that, and that's what exactly happened to Aeroflot. So they were using Windows 2003, some kind of XP, Windows XP, and the same level of, outdatedness. So Windows Server 2003 was used in their infrastructure, and that is the first problem. If you're using this kind of system, a time will come, if someone doesn't like you, he will come and hack your system by using the leaks, the problems of this outdated system. A lot of stuff is happening, on the market, and every programming language, every framework, every, infrastructure is being updated almost daily to fix the security leakage. And these updates are coming daily, as I said. So when you're using stuff like Windows 2003, there is high possibility that you will be hacked because all those security leaks are not closed, and you will be. The second reason for that were weak password policy. So weak password policy is the most regular thing that is happening in the huge corporations. The company really needs to have a good security officer in order to tell people, regular workers, that they need to set up strong passwords. The strong password is definitely not QWERTY or 12345, even 8 symbols. You need to use special symbols, and there is a strict policy on the passwords and on how often do you need to change them. It depends on the company, but usually you need to update your password at least 3 or 6 months. So basically that's also was the reason for that. Now the next problem was my favorite problem. So what Aeroflot has done, they were spending a low budget on IT specialists. So, I always say that you shouldn't spend a low amount of money on IT, because IT is such a thing that you need to set up it only once in order to work perfectly. Of course, you need to maintain the level of the service. Of course, you need to maintain the infrastructure, but the software by itself, it needs to be developed only once. And that's when you should not try to reduce the cost, because if you're reducing those costs, what will happen is what happened to Aeroflot. But the problem is that Aeroflot is a huge company and they have a lot of money. So some kind of, safe pillow, right? And if you're a small company or a medium company, situation like that may actually lead you to a bankruptcy. So if your operations will stop for at least a month or two, you can imagine what will happen to your business. So that's what I'm trying to show you with this video. It's not, too much informative, but because we can go into details forward and forward. I can tell a lot about this, but just wanted to tell you my opinion about this situation from my side as a software company founder, and to tell you one main idea, that you are not an Aeroflot. And such case, if you're spending a low amount of money on IT, if you're using outdated software, if you're having you don't have any security officer or best practices involved in integrated in your company, you will possibly, that doesn't have to be like 100%, but there is high risk that you will approach such a situation without preparation and you will be done. As a small business, that's what's gonna happen. Thank you for your attention. That was me, Arthur, the founder of Osmium, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.